1 Samuel 15 to 1 Samuel 17:58. 1 Samuel 15. Now Samuel said to Saul, "The Lord sent me to anoint you king over his people Israel. Therefore hear the voice of the words of the Lord. Thus says the Lord of hosts, I will punish what Amalek did to Israel, how he ambushed him on the way when he came up from Egypt. Now go and strike Amalek, and completely destroy all that they have, and do not spare them, but kill both man and woman, child and nursing infant, ox and sheep, camel and donkey." So Saul called the people together and numbered them in Telaim, 200,000 foot soldiers, and 10,000 men of Judah. When Saul came to the city, he set an ambush in the valley. Then Saul said to the Kenites, "Go, get out, depart from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. For you showed kindness to all the children of Israel when they came up out of Egypt." So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites. And Saul struck the Amalekites from Havilah as you go toward Shur, which is east of Egypt. He took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. But Saul and the people spared Agag, and the best of the sheep, the oxen, the fatlings, the lambs, and all that was good, and were unwilling to utterly destroy them. But they utterly destroyed all that was despised and weak. Then the word of the Lord came to Samuel, saying, "It is my regret that I have made Saul king, for he has turned back from following me, and has not performed my commandments." And it grieved Samuel, and he cried out to the Lord all night. So Samuel rose early in the morning to meet Saul, and it was told Samuel, saying, "Saul went to Carmel, and indeed he set up a monument for himself. Then he turned around and went down to Gilgal." Then Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said to him, "Blessed are you of the Lord. I have performed the commandment of the Lord." But Samuel said, "What then is this bleating of sheep in my ears, and the lowing of oxen which I hear?" And Saul said, "They have brought them from the Amalekites, for the people spared the best of the sheep and the oxen to sacrifice to the Lord your God, and the rest we have utterly destroyed." Then Samuel said to Saul, "Be quiet, and I will tell you what the Lord said to me last night." And he said to him, "Speak." So Samuel said, "When you were little in your own eyes, were you not the head of the tribes of Israel? And the Lord anointed you king over Israel. Now the Lord sent you on a mission and said, 'Go, utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they are consumed.' Why then did you not obey the voice of the Lord? Why did you swoop down on the spoil and do evil in the sight of the Lord?" And Saul said to Samuel, "Yes, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord. I have gone on the mission on which the Lord sent me. I have brought Agag, king of Amalekite, and I have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But the people took some of the spoil, sheep and oxen, the best of the things, to sacrifice to the Lord your God at Gilgal." And Samuel said, "Does the Lord have as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed the fat of rams. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness as iniquity and idolatry. Because you have rejected the word of the Lord, he also has rejected you from being king." Then Saul said to Samuel, "I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the Lord and your words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice. Now therefore, please forgive my sin, and turn back with me, that I may worship the Lord." But Samuel said to Saul, "I will not return with you, for you have rejected the word of the Lord, and the Lord has rejected you from being king over Israel." And as Samuel turned to go, Saul took hold of the edge of his robe, and it tore. So Samuel said to him, "The Lord has torn the kingdom of Israel from you this day, and has given it to a neighbor of yours, who is better than you. And also the glory of Israel will not lie or be sorry, for he is not a man that he should change his mind." Then he said, "I have sinned, yet honor me now, please, before the elders of my people and before Israel, and turn back with me that I may worship the Lord your God." So Samuel turned back with Saul, and Saul worshipped the Lord. Then Samuel said, "Bring Agag the king of the Amalekites here to me." So Agag came to him in chains. And Agag said, "Surely the bitterness of death is past." Then Samuel said, "As your sword has made women childless, so shall your mother be childless among women." And Samuel hacked Agag in pieces before the Lord in Gilgal. Then Samuel went to Ramah, and Saul went up to his house at Gibeah of Saul. And Samuel did not see Saul again until the day of his death. Nevertheless Samuel mourned for Saul, and the Lord regretted that he had made Saul king over Israel. Chapter 16. Now the Lord said to Samuel, "How long will you mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from reigning over Israel? Fill your horn with oil and go. I am sending you to Jesse the Bethlehemite, for I have looked for myself a king among his sons." So Samuel said, "How can I go? If Saul hears it, he will kill me." And the Lord said, "Take a heifer with you and say, I have come to sacrifice to the Lord. Then call Jesse to the sacrifice, and I will show you what you shall do. You shall anoint for me the one I name to you." So Samuel did what the Lord said and came to Bethlehem. And the elders of the town trembled when they saw him and said, "Do you come peaceably?" He said, "Peaceably. I have come to sacrifice to the Lord. Consecrate yourselves and come to the sacrifice with me." So he consecrated Jesse and his sons and invited them to the sacrifice. And when they came, he looked at Eliab and said, "Surely the Lord's anointed is before him." But the Lord said to Samuel, "Do not look at his appearance or at the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord does not see as man sees, for man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." And Jesse called Abinadab and made him pass before Samuel. And he said, "The Lord has not chosen this one either." Then Jesse made Shammah pass by, and he said, "The Lord has not chosen this one either." Thus Jesse made 7 of his sons pass before Samuel. And Samuel said to Jesse, "The Lord has not chosen these." And Samuel said to Jesse, "Are all your sons here?" Then he said, "There remains yet the youngest, and behold, he is keeping the sheep." And Samuel said to Jesse, "Send and bring him, for we will not sit down until he comes here." So he sent and brought him in. Now he was ruddy, with bright eyes, and was good to look at. And the Lord said, "Arise, anoint him, for this is the one." Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brothers. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward. So Samuel arose and went to Ramah. Now the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him. And Saul's servant said to him, "See now, an evil spirit from God troubles you. Let our master now command your servants who stand before you to seek out a man who is a skillful player on the harp. And it shall be that when the evil spirit from God is upon you, he shall play it, and you shall be well." So Saul said to his servants, "Provide for me now a man who plays well, and bring him to me." Then one of the young men answered and said, "Indeed, I have seen a son of Jesse the Bethlehemite, who is skillful in playing, a mighty man of valor, a warrior, one who is prudent in speech, and a handsome person, and the Lord is with him." Therefore Saul sent messengers to Jesse, and said, "Send David your son, who is with the sheep, to me." So Jesse took a donkey loaded with bread, a skin of wine, and a young goat, and sent them by his son David to Saul. And David came to Saul and stood before him, and he loved him greatly, and he became his armor-bearer. Then Saul sent to Jesse, saying, "Let David stand before me, for he has found favor in my sight." And so it was, whenever the Spirit from God was upon Saul, that David would take the harp and play it with his hand. So Saul would become refreshed and well, and the evil spirit would depart from him. Chapter 17. Now the Philistines gathered their armies together to battle, and when they were gathered together, they encamped between Socoh and Azekah, in Ephes-dammim. And Saul and the men of Israel gathered together, and encamped in the valley of Elah, and drew up in battle array against the Philistines. And the Philistines stood on a mountain on one side, and Israel stood on a mountain on the other side, with a valley between them.